You have something special. You have greatness in you. I am so excited. Hello, I'm Les Brown, and I want you to like this page and share it. I have a message for you entitled, You Got This, How to Make It Through the Storms of Life. And a lot of people going through a whole lot of stuff right up in here. And if you know somebody that's going through some stuff, please call them and say, listen, Mamie Brown's boy is on the air, Les Brown, and he's going to be talking about how to make it through the storms of life. And trust me, I've gone through some storms. I have the receipts to show it and to prove that you got this. And so I want you to think about where you are right now. And then I want you to think about where you want to go. That's very important. Where are you now and where do you want to go? And what will it take for you to get there? Because when you begin to really focus on what it takes to make it today, and there are all type of messages out here that people are coming about talking about vibrations and all kind of different things, the secret, all kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm talking about some real stuff up in here. And I want you to write some things down. Take some notes on what I'm going to share with you and make some mental notes if you are driving, all right? And the first thing I want you to write down, you got this. And what helped me to come to that conclusion in the midst of going through a whole lot of stuff, and I've been reflecting on my life and just looking back on how I got here. You know, there's a saying, wherever you find yourself at some point in time, you made an appointment to be here, okay? You made an appointment to be there. I made an appointment to be here. And I went through a whole lot of stuff in order to get here. And I've been reflecting on that. I'm going to shorten your learning curve. I'm going to reduce your anxiety and your fear and your uncertainty, because there are things I know about you that I discovered by these things I discovered in myself. I did not know that I had it going for me like that. And so one of the most important things to know and to affirm to yourself when you're going through stuff, I got this. And you don't have to know how you got it, how you're going to get through it, how you're going to make it to the next level. That's none of your business. That's God's business. You just have to do what you can with what you have. You got to keep moving and be a perpetual optimist. That's what you have to do. You're in a fight. And this is in this place where we are. This is what I call a rollback energy that we're expressing now. That this country is expressing rollback. They want to roll things back. I remember when I used to be a disc jockey at WVKL radio station, and there was an older gentleman. He was the vice chairman of the radio station, Eddie Saunders. He's an older guy, and I had just started working there, coming from Miami, and I was teasing him one day, and they told me that Eddie used to be a boxer. And I said, hey, Eddie. He said, yeah. I said, I ought to run over there and slap you side the head. They tell me you used to box. What you got going? He said, that's fine. He said, run over here and do it. But I guarantee you, you will limp back. I cracked up and everybody laughed. Yeah, you can run over here if you want to, but you will limp back. You won't be running back. You're going to limp back because you're going to receive some damage up in here. I'm going to have to lay some hands on you with your young, dumb self. And what I realized in reflecting on my life at 81, and my goal is to finish strong. I know I have not done my best stuff yet. And the reason I'm on, because I made a promise to myself and made a promise to God. If you get me through this, I'll work for you. If you get me through this, you can use my voice, my experiences, and things I've overcome to let people know there is hope. And I'm saying to you, when I was going through the experience of building a career, and I remember sleeping on the floor of the 21st floor of the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan. And when I would come in the building, when we would come in the parking lot, my cousin Boo and I, I heard the parking lot attendant say, "Hey, that's that guy who talk about motivation, how to live your dreams and be successful." And he's sleeping on the floor of his office on the 21st floor. And then one day when I came in, Larry DeAngie and my cousin Boo, who has made his transition, the security asked me, "Would you come over here for a moment, sir?" They gave me a note. And the note read, "This is not a hotel. This is an office tower. We have word from the janitorial staff that you've been sleeping in your office." And I said, "Thank you, sir." And so I waited the next day to go see management. And let me tell you, we would hear at the middle of the night the janitorial staff coming to clean the office. We knew we weren't supposed to be living in the office, so we would hide in the closet. And I guess one new person must have heard us making some noise, and so the guy came to the closet door and he opened up the closet door. There I am in my underwear, Boo in his underwear, and Larry DeAngie. And the guy said, "Hey, what y'all doing in here?" And I said to him, "It's not what you think, big boy." Get away from here. He cracked up. He said, "Oh my God." He said, "I was going to report y'all, but I can't tell. One of the other guys going to tell on y'all, but I can't tell that. I wondered what you would say." I mean to tell you, he cracked up. And there were times I would go when Boo and Larry, they would be asleep, and I would look out the window and saw other office towers, and they had lights on, and there my lights were off. And I just said, one day, I'm going to have an office like that. One day, it will be fully furnished, and I won't have to sleep on the floor and use the bathroom down the hall and bathe in the sink. One day, things are going to change for me. And so the reason that I'm saying you got this is that I got through it. I got through it and built a global business, and nobody looking at me sleeping on the floor. And my son, John Leslie, he was with me on one Saturday. I was holding him, and a secretary that I hired when I finally got some furniture, Sue Burkhardt, she said when she came to the office on a Saturday morning unexpectedly and saw John Leslie in my arms, we were sleeping on the floor in the Penobscot building, and she just shook her head. She said, "I know God's going to bless them some way, somehow." And he did. A lot of things happened that I know that I did not cause it to happen. And I'm saying to you, when you commit yourself, that means when you are locked in, when you decide that I'm going to make this happen no matter what, the failures, the rejections, the setbacks, no matter what, I'm going to keep going. Things are going to work out for you. Angels will show up and help you out. People will step in for you that you don't even know. I can't tell you how many times that happened for me. And I'm saying to you, when you got this idea and this goal and dream, that life is going to test you. Martha Jean the Queen, she had this speech I love, and I still listen to it. Do you really want to win? Because winning has a cost. Winning requires discipline. Winning requires consistency. Winning requires a willingness to go all in. When you have no evidence that it makes sense, as Donald Lawrence would say, it might not make sense, but it makes faith. It's easy to have faith when your bills are paid, when your health is strong, the children are acting like they have good sense, your marriage is working, you got money in the bank. It's easy to have faith then. But when you don't have that, when a doctor looks at you, as one did with me, and say, "You have cancer," most feared statements in 7 different languages, I had to have faith that I'm going to get through this. When I went through the foreclosure of the first home that I bought for my mother, I had to have faith that I can get another house. When I came out one day and my car was gone, and I called the company that financed the car, and I said, "Hey," I said, my car is gone." Say, what? No, it's not gone. So what do you mean? We picked it up. I called to tell them that my car was stolen and I needed some help and assistance in getting my car back. And they said, no, you behind on your payments. I learned then the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. So I used to hide my car at Boo's house, and Boo used to hide his car at my house when we got back on our payments. And now you can't do that. I think it's intrusive for them to have tracking systems on my car and I can't hide it just because I haven't paid my bill. And let me tell you something. You woke up. You got this. Everybody who went to sleep last night didn't get up this morning. So you are chosen to have the abilities and the skills to figure it out. And well, what do I do, Les, when I've got all these creditors calling me and I'm behind on my bills? Here's what you do. Focus on where you're going. Don't look at the current reality. It will take your energy. Focus on where you're going. I remember when I was evicted out of an apartment in Detroit and our neighbors stole our furniture when they set it out. I was at work. And so when you think about, what is that phone ringing over? That's my phone. Let me go. I got to, y'all, can you hold it just a bit? I'll be right back. One of these spam calls, those calls that that's not serious. You know what I mean? I do apologize for that little interruption there. So what you have to do is focus on, how do I deal with this? How do I begin to take some action steps to move in the right direction? When I was first fired at WVKO radio station, I remembered the name of a guy named Jim Irving. And the reason he's important to me at that time, when I was immediately fired, I need to do some work. Sometimes you got to do what you need to do in order to pay the bills. I started cutting grass. I'm very good at landscaping. And this car came around, second time, third time, guy came and said, "Hey, are you Les Brown?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Whoa, what are you doing, man? You're no longer on the air." I said, "You remember the Kahiki incident, that police brutality case that I editorialized on and gave demonstrations about that?" I said, "Yeah." Well, they fired me because of that. "And you cutting grass?" I said, "Nobody will give me a job. They say that I'm controversial." He said, "Oh, man, that's not fair." He said, "You did good work for the community." He gave me a job. I became a recruiter for the Communications Workers of America. I mean, look, your reputation goes before you. They hired me to be a disc jockey. They didn't hire me to be a community activist. They didn't hire me to do editorials. They didn't hire me to be the music director. They didn't hire me to produce commercials. But I went in and did all of those things without pay. And you say, why? Because I wanted to develop myself. You want to make yourself invaluable, particularly in this era where we are. And this is a time where you want to go all in and provide more service than you get paid for. And by my doing those things, I developed a reputation in the community for being more than just a disc jockey. A few years ago, I went back to Columbus, and the guys that I trained, they're still in radio in Columbus. And they went there with a mindset of a disc jockey. You want to have an expanded mindset of yourself, that wherever you are, that's the place you're going through. You've got to look at, what does that next chapter look like in your life? What does that next position look like for you? Because whatever you're doing now, you're molding today what you will be in the future. And no one could have predicted that after I was working with the Communication Workers of America with Jim Irving, and I just thank him so much, that one day I got a knock at the door, and it was Horace Perkins. He was the salesperson at WVKO. And he said, "Les Brown, won't you sign these papers?" I said, "What are they?" "This petition, just sign right here." I signed it. I said, "What is it about?" He said, "Man, I went around and talked to people, got signatures for you to run for state representative of the 29th House District. I say, Perkins, I don't know anything about politics. I know how to get people registered and how to get people out to vote, but I don't know anything about politics. And he said, neither do the people who run. You can learn. And he was right. And he got the petition signed. I ran and I won. Look here. Everybody said that I would lose. All the Black community leaders, and this is going to happen to you, people who you should support you, when the chips are down on you, there are many people that will not support you who you supported. And I remember all of the community leaders came to the house of Jerry Hammond. He was a city councilman. And they went to his house to convince him, one, not to endorse me, and said, if you want the support of the Democratic Party, don't you support Les Brown? He doesn't have any power anymore. He's not on the air. He's off WVKO. So I came in with my kids, and they all said, man, look, you shouldn't run. You can't win. The Calling Post is not going to endorse you, and we're going to endorse your opponent, Bill Cobb. And Jerry was sitting there. And I said, Jerry, what about you? He said, Brown, I'm going with you. I said, man, I appreciate that, but you lose the backing of the Democratic Party if you take a chance on me and I lose. He said, I don't care. You helped me get here. You've done so many voter registration drives and turned people out by the thousands. No, this is wrong. They can go for your opponent, but I'm going with you. I said, thank you very much. And I left there with my children, and I had a saying when I was on the air: stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. And I went from door to door all over the 29th House District. And let me share with you why I'm sharing this with you right now. I don't care what they say about artificial intelligence. Your superpower is your voice. It's a skill that you can develop. Had I not developed the skill of being a communicator, because all of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless, we learn. And so your ability, I want you to understand the power that it gives you to learn that skill while we have this training, hungry to speak, because this is worth writing down. And Warren Buffett said that you want a skill that's sustainable and impactful and gives you a competitive edge. It's sustainable. I've been doing this for 53 years. It's sustainable. I've seen a lot of people come and go. It's sustainable. 53 years. Some of you heard me when you were kids, knee-high to hopper grass, and I'm still doing it at 81. Your ability to negotiate, to develop relationships. This is the place where we are right now. Don't be intimidated by artificial intelligence. You can hire people who have the skills in foreign countries that you can get for a much lower price than people right here. It's a different place. And so this is a time that you have to have the mindset, I got this. I will figure this out. See, it's one thing to say, oh, you're more than a conqueror. That's one thing. That's lip service. It's more than all things work together for good for those who love God. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Walk by faith and not by sight. Yeah, okay. It's something else to bust a dance while you're in church and say, we got a praise dance. But when the hammer drops, when you lose your job, when the hammer drops, and you in a marriage that goes south, the hammer drops, and your kids go crazy on you, or you get sick, you have to have a what if strategy. What if you lost your job or got sick? How long would it be before it affects the quality of your life? And so your ability, developing your mind, focusing on yourself. I want some of you to go to LesBrownHungryToSpeak.com, because I have a digital magazine that we've created, and we're giving it away. Giving it away. Why? It's a part of my mission. I'm living my life like this. and I tell my children and my grandchildren and my great grands, live your life the way you want to live your life. You're going to be seeing more of me. I'm tired of looking at all this phony stuff out here, and they're duplicating my image and my voice, but they can't quite get it. My voice is distinct. Y'all know my voice, and I'm saying I'm going to come on and let you see the real thing. This is not automated. This is no clone. No, this is Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. She gave birth to me, but Mamie Brown taught me how to be a man. You know, one of the biggest lies they ever told. A woman can't raise a boy to be a man. That's a lie from the pit of hell. My mother taught us to be men. And so this is a time that you have to focus your mind. You have to protect your mind, not listening to garbage. You have to decide, I'm not going to watch the news. I don't watch the news. It's not good for my health. It's talking about stuff I can't do nothing about. I'm not going to give up space in my mind that good ideas can be there that will help me to inspire people and help people to get unstuck and to step out of their fear into their faith and begin to create a new chapter in their lives, looking at the news, looking at some basketball game or baseball game. I don't go to a game unless I'm in it. No. It's one thing to begin to look at and understand you're not going to be young forever. Time goes like this. I mean, I look in the mirror now. You should see me looking in the mirror and said, I'm 81. Who does this? I served at the Lord's Supper. Here's something else. Learn to laugh at life. Because what you're complaining about, there's some people that wish they had it. I'm telling you, learn to be grateful. When I get up in the morning, I say, Lord, whatever I face today, together you and I can handle it. Whatever I face today, you and I can handle it. And I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm in my right mind. Now, sometimes it's questionable. I went in a room the other day looking for something, and I got in there, and I couldn't remember what I was looking for. I came out the room, remembered what I was looking for, went back in, I found it, and then I couldn't remember why I was looking for it. I was talking to my son Calvin one day, and Calvin said, Daddy, what you doing? What's all that noise? I said, you got too much dip on your chip. I'm doing something. I'm looking for something. He said, well, what are you looking for? It's been 15 to 20 minutes. You got all this noise going on. I said, I'm looking for my phone. He said, you're on the phone. I know that. I'm just making sure that you're listening to me. Don't say nothing else to me here. That's called parental abuse. Oh my God, I was on the phone looking for the phone. Oh, looking for my glasses the other day, and I had my glasses on. I said, this is what happens when you turn 81? Oh no. So life is for living. You're listening to me because you don't want to just survive. What it takes to live versus what it takes to survive are 2 different things. You're different. There are a lot of people who are there happy where they are. They have surrendered. It has become their new normal. But there's something in you that says this just can't be it. When I was sleeping on the floor of the Penobscot building and bathing in the sink down the hall, I didn't focus on where I was. I had a vision in my mind of where I was going and tenaciously held that vision there. I'll give you all your eyes can see. And things going to happen. There are people who should help you, who should be there for you, and they won't show up. I can't tell you the number of people that, I hate to say this, but it's real. When the word went out that I was diagnosed with 4-stage cancer the first time, there are people who owed me money that they didn't want to visit me, they didn't want to call me, but they were just waiting for me to go. Oh my goodness. And they wouldn't answer my phone calls or nothing. Okay, I'm telling you. There's some people that they challenge you. They challenge you. And If they knew better, they would do better. You're listening to me. You are blessed. You're listening to me because what's in me is in you. And learn to laugh at yourself. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done some dumb things. But I understand what Paul said. I must die daily. There are parts of us that must die daily in order for us to give birth to who we are to become. I'm like the lady who said, Lord, I ain't what I want to be, ain't what I'm going to be, but thank God I sure ain't what I was. I am so grateful for that statement. I thank God I sure ain't what I was. I was a different kind of person. And I'm glad that I got a chance to outlive that because of God's grace and mercy. And I'm saying to you, when you have a mindset and this vision of what you want, and that things are going to get better for you, you have a different kind of energy, and you will attract people who will help you out. I'm telling you, that happened to me many times. And so when you look at yourself, look at your goals on where you are now and where you want to go, ask this question and be brutally honest with yourself. What is it I've got to change about me in order to do that? What I wanted to do was to speak for corporations around the world. When I heard Brian Tracy said the average American reads one book a year, if you read one book a month in 5 years, the average American would have read 5 books. You'd read 60 books. That'll make you an expert. That's why I know more quotes than any speaker out here, because I discipline myself to read 30 to 40 pages a day. I got it up to 5 books a month. Why? Because I wanted to be a corporate speaker. I wanted to create a demand for myself. People said, come on, be logical and reasonable and realistic. Who's going to hire you and you have no college and you're going to compete with people with PhDs and MBAs and years of experience that you don't have in corporations? Come on. Are you serious? Yes, I am. Don't be logical. Don't be realistic. There's some things that you can do that you don't know. Eye has not seen. Ear has not heard. Don't write yourself off. Bet on you. And you're going to have some failures. You're going to have some disappointments. I remember I was a part of a lineup of speakers, and they were going across country, and they only brought me in because they had a form that people had to fill out saying, who would you like to see? And my name kept coming up. So they had my friends, Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and Dr. Dennis Waitley and others, and they gave them 90 minutes. And they said, Les Brown, okay, you're closing out. Fantastic. Oh, by the way, you only have 15 minutes. 15 minutes? Come on, man. Everybody else had 90 minutes, including you. 15 minutes? And he said, it's your first time here, right? Yes. And you're trying to start problems? I said, no. No. I said, all right, have him introduce me. Listen to me. Whatever happens to you, look for how you can make it work for you. I went out there, had 5 minutes to introduce myself. I had 5 minutes to deliver my speech, and I had 5 minutes to close out and to share with them the products I had available. And that lineup, all of them earned over $200,000. They said I didn't make the cut because my product volume of what I sold was $53,000. Let me share with you the blessing that came out of that. Come on, Les, a blessing came out of that? Yeah. I'll tell you what, I said to myself, when I walked past my friends and they looked and they dropped their heads because they knew it wasn't right, but they didn't raise their voice to say, come on, give him more time. Give him at least 30 minutes. They just dropped their head. And I said, on the way to the car, I'm going to be so good as a speaker. I'm going to be so fierce as a speaker. I'm going to create a demand for myself. He's going to come back to me one day every time I spoke. I tried to take it to the next level. Every time I spoke, I took no prisoners and ate the wounded. Every time I spoke, I was so fired up I could make a paraplegic jump up and run. And then they called me. Hey, Les Brown, we like for you to lead the Get Motivated seminar events. Is that right? Yeah. What will it cost? I was waiting on that. When I told them my price, I got quiet because I want to hear them speak in unknown tongues. And they paid it too. Yes. And I thanked them. I said, I want to thank you because that made me focus and sharpen my skills and had so much impact in changing lives. I created a demand for myself. I didn't call them, they called me. Things are going to happen to you. Decide not to get bitter, but to get better. Because everything that I've gone through, when I look back, it was for my growth and development mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. I've overcome some stuff. There's nothing that you can throw at me that I'm going to buckle under. Absolutely not. And listen to me. The reason you're watching me is because what's in me is in you plus more. And you have to get fired up about this thing called life. Like this period of time, I call it the rollback period, where you have these politicians trying to roll back the rights and things that we fought for. At this period in time, you got to be willing to fight. I remember a guy named Arthur Kelsey. I don't know if he's still living. He used to beat me up all the time. He was a bully. And I would run home and I'd run, Mama, open the door. And Lee Arthur was right behind me. And she opened the door one time and let me in so Lee Arthur Kelsey could not catch me. And then on this one day, I'm running home, Mama, Lee Arthur's after me. Open the door. And Mama locked the door. She said, no, fight. And he came and he grabbed me. He was bigger than me. And he snatched me off the porch and threw me in some bushes. And Mama looking through the door. And I'm wondering myself, why would she do that? And when he threw me in the bushes, there was a soft drink called Topicola, not Coca-Cola, but Topicola. And the Lord made it possible that I got my hand on that Topicola. And when I came up out of the bushes and bust Lee Arthur Kelsey in the head and blood started running down his face, he took off running. And every day after that, they called me Topicola. And he didn't mess with me no more. I was seeing him in the halls. Hey, you want some of this? Sometimes you've got to be willing to fight. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, that's peace of mind. That's your health, your relationship, for your children's future. Once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I was fighting for a better life for my children. I was fighting for the ability to be able to take care of my mother. I refused to allow Mamie Brown to be put in a nursing home. Come on, one woman raised 7 children that she didn't give birth to, and 7 grown people sitting around talking about they got nice nursing homes in Dade County. Hell to the no. I got this. Mama, I'll take you. Unpack all those boxes. Don't y'all start me to cussing like Mamie Brown up in here. Mama used to cuss all the time. I remember one time on Mother's Day, Aretha has a song years ago in Columbia Records called There's Nothing as Beautiful as a Mother's Love. And I love that song. And I was playing this song on Mother's Day. And I opened up the microphone to call Mama to have a conversation with her and tell her how much I appreciated her and how much I loved her. And so Mamie Brown, she's special. So I had Aretha Franklin playing There's Nothing as Beautiful as a Mother's Love. You can still find that. And I said, Mama, how you doing, baby? I said, I'm on the air and I just called to say Happy Mother's Day. And so Mom was living in Miami. I said, how you feel today? She said, child, I'm sweating like a whore in church. I said, Mama, Lord have mercy, I'm on the air. She said, and she wanted to explain it. You know how they start sweating when the preacher start preaching? No, ma'am, mama. No, ma'am. Bye, bye, mama. I just want to say happy birthday. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. She was something else. Let me tell you. Listen, life, to me, it's an experiment. You don't want to be one-dimensional. You want to try a variety of things. You don't know what you can't do. I'm reminded of this pianist. He was known, and I told the story before, but I love it. He was known as a gifted and skillful jazz pianist. And a guy came in the bar buying a lot of drinks. He said, I want to hear a song. Have that pianist play a song for me. He went over, the bartender told the pianist, hey, this patron want you to sing something. He said, I don't sing. You hired me as a pianist. Just tell him whatever he wants to hear, I will play it. He went back and he told the guy, he said, we hired him to be a pianist. He does not sing. He said, listen, tell him to sing a song for me. I've been buying drinks for everybody here. I'm going through some stuff. I'm going through a divorce. Tell him to sing a song for me, or I'm going to leave and take my money somewhere else. Then the bartender went back over to the pianist and said, sing or you are fired. And this jazz pianist closed his eyes and began to sing. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. That was Nat King Cole. Now, the millenniums, they don't know anything about Nat King Cole. Some of y'all know. Let me see some flames. Let me see some hearts up in here. If you remember, there's never been a voice like Nat King Cole. They play his music every Christmas. Never been a voice like him. And so, but he was hired as a pianist. That was the first time he sang. You don't know what's in you. Sometimes in life, you have to be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. Did you get that? Did you get that? As Myron Golden would say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Sometimes in life, you will be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. A God-ordained opportunity to discover who you are, to discover what you are made of. You were born for greatness. Greatness is your birthright. It's your birthright. You're made in the likeness and image of God, given authority and dominion. It's a place where we have to, in this phase where these politicians are trying to do a rollback, that we have to live from dominion, that we have to be willing to fight for what we want, for what we've gotten, and for advancing and moving forward in the future. This is a time that you have to create strategic relationships with people who have knowledge and skills and resources and behind doors that you want to get into. Don't write yourself off. Don't take your talents, abilities, and skills to the cemetery. Rob the cemetery of your greatness. That's what I'm doing. I woke up this morning. So I know somebody's going to hear me today. Yes, I got it like that. But there's some of y'all, let me see some thumbs, let me see some flames, so that I can see the monitor over here to my right. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, as Myron Golden said, are you picking up what I'm putting down? And listen, you're going to have failures. You're going to have setbacks. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times. But he kept coming back again and again and again. If you keep coming back again and again and again, if you see a failure or a setback as a learning experience, what is it I didn't know? What did I learn from this experience? How can I make an adjustment and come back again? Look at some industry you want to go into, because this is the entrepreneur's industry, and ask the question, where is there a place up in here? I like this, and how can I come up in there, not imitate them, but find a place for myself and be me and use my personality, use my passion, use my energy There's a place in there for me when I joined the National Speakers Association. They said, man, are you serious? There's 3,000 speakers here. None of them look like you. You're wasting your time. Is that right? Thank you. Listen, you don't need anybody's permission to go after your dream, to live life on your terms, to challenge yourself, to find out what you're made of. You don't need that. I ignored them. And I realized the speaking industry is governed by the Dale Carnegie course, which is a great course. They teach, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. I train speakers. For those of you that are part of Hungry to Speak, you know what I believe. Never let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear. And all that get understanding. And for those of you that you've got a voice, those of you that want to learn how to present yourself, those of you that some movement that you want to represent or something that you feel strongly about, and you want to learn how to develop the confidence and the ability to think on your feet and be creative and transform an audience individually and collectively, I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. I got a 7-month program. Why 7 months? Because you can't achieve mastery in a weekend. Are you serious? You know the number of speeches I gave Dr. King did. I Have a Dream over 200 times before he did it at the Washington Monument. Former President Barack Obama, I used to live in Chicago at Harrison and Wales. He gave that speech about the audacity of hope numerous times. See, most people believe practice makes perfect. No, practice makes improvement. And let me share something with you. With all the stuff that's going on, you have no competition. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. What do you mean by that, Les? Most people are not willing to do the work. You have no competition at all. At all. The majority of people are not hungry at all. They're rather settled. They're not willing to do the work. I remember I was on Miami Beach, and I was with this guy, and his brother brought me from Liberty City on Miami Beach. His brother had purchased a home, and the older brother asked the younger brother, hey, man, when you going to get your act together? And the younger brother said, man, I admire what you've done. Got this big, beautiful mansion on Miami Beach. And he asked his brother, how did you get this? And the older brother said, a lot of hard work. And the guy that brought me there, he looked around and said, I'm not willing to do that. Anything of value, it comes with a price. It comes with a price. You have no competition. But you versus you. If there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. You versus you. I have to talk to myself to do what I know, not what I feel. You versus you. Training your mind to overcome the installment of mediocrity, the installment of negative things in the environment that you're in that has compromised your vision of yourself. The reason that you're listening to me right now is triggering something. It's triggering something within you. You feel me in your heart. You know it. You know I've gone through some stuff. You know I've been doing this. I've been written off. And who would have thought being labeled educable mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failing again at the 8th grade at Booker T. Washington High School, who would have thought that boy, one of the twins that Mamie Brown raised, would give a lecture at Harvard University? Who would have thought that boy, the one they called the dumb twin, would speak to 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome? That's on YouTube right now. You can put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Who would have thought? See, there are people who are writing you off. They don't know you like that. You don't know yourself like that. What are you talking about? You don't. You can't read the label when you're in the box. Our self-explanatory style, how we see ourselves, the story we believe about ourselves that we bought from the environment that we're in, governs our lives and the choices we make unless there's an intervention. This is an intervention right now. I'm an assassin. What'd you say? I said I'm an assassin. I will kill every negative mediocrity demon in you. As you listen to me, it's going to get up and run. I'm going to bring out the millionaire in you. I'm going to bring out that part of yourself that's been waiting to come forth. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. You're part of the few. When the kingdom of God shall come, the kingdom of God cometh not by observation. They shall say, it's neither lo there, lo here. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Listen to me. That kingdom is voice activated. Nothing happens until it's spoken. That's why your ability to express yourself, to put ideas together, to be able to tell your story and what you represent and what you stand for is so important to put in the work to develop that skill. Most people won't do that. That's why there's no competition out here. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to commit yourself? See, the difference between being involved in a dream and being committed to a dream, the next time you have bacon and eggs, the chicken was involved. But the pig, he had to give it all up. See, most people are involved in life. They're not committed. They're not committed to improving their health. They're not committed to improving their marriage. They're not committed to developing and reinventing themselves. All these people, there's so many people been laid up. I was talking to a lady the other day, and she said, I said, what's going on with you? And Michelle told me that you've been laid off from your job. And she told me you're a very talented person. So, but it's okay. I think I got another job waiting for me. And I'm saying to myself, shut up, Les. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. You going to look for another job? They just fired you from another job? 40% of Harvard graduates are moving back home. You've been told over and over again, over 300 million jobs will be automated by artificial intelligence. You've been told that this is an entrepreneur's market and you're going to look for another job. Now, there's nothing wrong with looking for another job. You have to do what you need to do, like I was, and cutting grass and becoming a recruiter for the Communication Workers of America Union until I can get something that I wanted to do. You have to do what you need to do in order to keep things going. I understand that. But you have to have a mindset. What does the next chapter of my life look like? You need to look for that. That's not just going to happen. It has to be intentional. You have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to die to who you are now, to make a radical change, to give birth to who you were chosen to be. I ain't playing with you. No, don't come for me. I didn't call an Uber. No. This thing called life. You have some stuff in you. I'm amazing myself. I'm telling you, look, at 81, and I can outrun my great grandchildren. Well, they got little short legs, but I can outrun all of my grandchildren too. And they say, you would race me? Come out to the parking lot. You think I'm Usain? That's what I got from Jamaica. At 81. And the thing is, learn to laugh at yourself and laugh at life. Let me tell you something happened. I don't believe in gray hair, right? So I put mascara in my mustache. So I came up on stage as at this event and kissed the lady on the cheek who introduced me. And she was getting ready to introduce me, left this big black smudge on her face. So I didn't know what to say, so I just sat down. And people start saying to her, something on your face. And she looked at me, she said, what is this thing? I said, I don't know. So finally, the lady came up and said, there's something on your face. They gave her a tissue to wipe it off. And she looked at me and said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe this rubs off? I think I'm going to invest in some mascara. Yeah, I think I need to do that because homie ain't gonna be going around here with a mustache looking like Santa Claus. No, my twin brother, we were in the shopping mall, Cumberland shopping mall, and this white fellow, he was teary-eyed. He came up, he said, "Oh, the two of you reminded me when I was in the mall with my father." And my brother Wesley said, "I'm not his father. He's my twin brother. I'm just 5 minutes older than him." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir." I said, "Wesley, get him out the break. He didn't know. He didn't know." Look here. Because I'm 81 don't mean I need to look like 81. No, no, homie, don't play that. I like what George Burns said. We can't help getting older, but we don't have to get old. Here's something else. Challenge yourself to learn something else. I challenge myself every day. I'm going to learn something today that I didn't know yesterday. I can't tell you the hours that I spend doing research on learning things that will give me another breakthrough. I'm not through yet. There's more in me. Don't settle like everybody else. And you want to know something else? Get away from people who don't have goals and dreams, who's not fired up about life. Get away from them. Why? Because people rub off on you. I'm telling you, birds of a feather flock together. You want to be around people who have goals. This is the reason why I'm doing Hungry to Speak. When you come in this community, you're going to be around people that are hungry, people that are determined, people that are dedicated and disciplined and learning how to become more effective, learning how to be the voice of their brand, creating their brand. You can't create a brand without making impact. Jesse Jackson's brand was, "I am somebody." Malcolm X's brand was, "By any means necessary." Dr. King's brand was, "I have a dream." Barack Obama's brand was, "The audacity of hope." To be or not to be, Shakespeare. Kennedy, "That's not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Les Brown, "You got to be hungry." What's your brand? People talk about brands. Brands come about because of impact, because of your story, how you tell your story, and not about just giving information. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. I'm training the most talented and gifted speakers on the planet. Teach them how to take their story and go from being local to being national and being global. And I got the receipts. I know what it takes. And so when you look at yourself, you got to ask, as you look around, what is this relationship doing to you? There are some people that they don't want anything. Can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. Leave people alone. There's a reason we're taught don't cast pearls before swines, lest they turn and rend you. Have you ever given somebody some advice and they got mad at you? I have a relative who called me, "Do you think I'm fat?" She weighs 350 pounds. I said, "Baby, I don't look at you in terms of pounds. I look at you in terms of the look of love." No. And I'm saying to myself, you got to be kidding. You have to look at a chair before you sit down because it might break. Are you kidding me? I was on an elevator with you in New York and the light came on because there's too much weight. Are you kidding me? Do you think I'm fat? Baby, I look at you. You know, people are interesting. And don't let them stress you out. No, there's some things that's none of your business. It's none of your business. I'm telling you, this is a time that you have to focus on you. I'm focused on me. I'm focusing on the 90-year-old Les Brown. I got 9 months. 9 years. So at 81, I'm focused on what I need to do, the upgrade my nutritional habits. I've got a physical trainer, my exercise regimen, my decompressing and de-stress life. When I'm doing this, I feel good. That's why I'm talking to you, not just for you. but for me too. Hope, inspiration, and motivation are perfumes you can't sprinkle on others without getting a few drops on yourself. I'm fired up after I talk to y'all. Sometimes I just want to run around the block and just start yelling, "You got to be hungry." But I won't do it because they might call the police. Oh, boy. Like this page and share it. Listen. Here's what I want you to do. Me a favor. I want you to like this page and share. I'm going to share a few other thoughts. And then, but if you have a story, I'm building a community. I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. Hungrytospeak.com. You're going to get a digital magazine free, teaching you techniques and strategies and give you information that will be beneficial to you in becoming an entrepreneur in terms of improving your mindset, developing your millionaire mindset, and techniques and strategies and tips on how to improve your communication skills. And then also, if you choose, we have a community. We're limiting, and we must interview to see if it's a good fit. I don't want to work with everybody because most people are not hungry. No. I want to be around people who want to make a difference. People who want to live a life that will outlive them. I got 15 grandchildren and 4 great grands. I want to work with people who want to build a legacy. I want to work with people who have a mindset to build an empire. That's what I'm talking about. Because we have to do it. There's a reason I say shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. There's a reason I say if life knocks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Because you can. Most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. Come on. Oh, behave. He's fired up. You got that right. Yes. This is your moment. This is your time. There's a reason that you're watching me now. You know in your heart of hearts what's in me is also in you. You've got to be in a hungry mode to make it today. Things are happening that we don't see coming. All kind of stuff. The Supreme Court is just co-opted. It's just no integrity. Just trying to roll back things. All kinds of things are happening. I mean, I went in the grocery store, just had, wasn't even a full basket. That's about 1/3 of a basket. And it was over $100. So I looked at the lady, I said, "Do y'all take food stamps?" I just said, "I can't believe it." The cost of gas, the cost of food. I mean, everything's up. And then when you put that with stress, when you put that with stuff happening to your family members and stuff happening to you, you got to be able to focus on you so you can deal with it. So from when I get up in the morning until 12 noon, I'm listening to inspirational messages. And when you get the Hungry to Speak magazine, you go to hungrytospeak.com. We can download new motivational messages for you every day. Why are you doing this? And why are you giving away free? Evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. It's just too much craziness out here. I would love to be able to hear some of these athletes or comedians can hold a conversation without using foul language. Profanity has become the new norm. Our children are listening to us. Can't say anything today. They have no filter for their mouths. Now children are listening. And I'm going to be doing training with kids or something. Part of what I teach kids, profanity is the strongest expression of a weak mind. No, he didn't go there. Yes, he did. It's the strongest expression of a weak mind. We have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. How many of you can feel me in your heart what I'm saying? How many of you are picking up what I'm putting down? I don't see any flames over here. I need to put on, where are my Walgreens glasses? They're around here somewhere. Yeah. Come on, let me see some flames. If what I've said resonate with you, does it make sense? See, life, you got to get your hustle on. Life, it's about being creative. Life, it's about being driven. Life, it's about converting no's into yes. Life is about being relentless and unstoppable. Life is about standing up for the life that you believe that you deserve. You've got to decide, I deserve better than this. I have a friend who used to drink all the time. He passed out at a friend's house. His friend was on the phone, and the friend was talking to someone on the other end, and he was half consciousness and he was half conscious and heard the conversation. And let's say his name was Joe, and the person must have asked about Joe, and he heard her say, "Oh, Joe's over here drinking himself to death." And as he was laying there, eyes closed, drunk, and he said, "Why am I drinking myself to death? I'm a good person. Why am I doing this to myself?" And that was a moment for him. There are moments in life. There's before this and there's after this. And something changed. And he staggered to his feet and he left there and he never took another drink. Because she said, "Oh, he's on the floor. Joe, oh, he's drinking himself to death." And he decided, come on. He had to own it. He had to own it. See, we have to own our stuff. Where you find yourself at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. Have to own it. Because life be lifing. And it brings up something out of you. And this moment right now, as you listening to me, this is a moment for you to look at yourself and ask yourself, am I the person that I thought I would be when I look in the mirror, that person that's looking back at me? Am I happy with where I am? Have I settled? Do I believe that I'm meant for more? Do I believe that I deserve more? You have to ask, where am I going? Who's going with me? And what is it that I need to do? What behaviors, what choices, what places that are off limits? They're no part of my future. See, when you wake up, when you come to yourself, that's a change of identity. The prodigal son. At one point, he saw himself living a low life, but when he found himself just waylaid by life, he came to himself. And how many of you, if you've had a moment where you were in a toxic relationship, it was abusive mentally and physically, you were dying together rather than living together, and one day you said, no, I'm out of here. I have a friend, Dr. Valerie. And Dr. Valerie, she was in an abusive relationship. Her husband was a pastor. And she wrote a book, Love Shouldn't Hurt. You need to get that book. It's still around. Love Shouldn't Hurt. Husband was abusive, and her children were trying to defend her, and he was slinging the kids all around in a drunken state. She was beaten, and she left the house that night with the kids. Didn't look back. Wrote a book and helping other women develop escape plans on how to get out of physically and emotionally abusive relationships. This is a special time. Let me share with you, in the midst of the rollback, and trust me, these people that's trying to do this now, they're nothing. They're absolutely nothing compared to the greatness that we have within us. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea of what they're calling for. They have no idea. And you can tell a lot about people based upon what they do, how they feel about themselves. I was on this program, and this white host, he said, I noticed your statistics that over 90% of your audience are white. I said, yes. He said, shouldn't it be African American? I said, no. He said, why not? I said, you and the people that look like you need more motivation and self-esteem and a sense of decency than anybody. You think about all the evil that you've done, have done, and still doing. Oh, no. You really need what I got. His face turned as red as my chair. I know he said, I know he didn't go there on me. Yes, I did. Listen, because you can tell a lot about people based upon how they treat other people. And this is the time that we should be creating communities where people are turning to each other, not against each other. This is a time that religion and the media and politics are separating people. And it's deliberate. But I'm saying to you, we were born for such a time as this, that we have the power to use our voice, to use our energy, to use our knowledge. We have access. Listen, we have access to tools that Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman and Booker T. Washington, and they didn't have this. They have access that you can see me around the world. You can be seen around the world. I'm training young people and people who have something in their heart that they want to express and want the coaching and techniques, how to create an experience with the audience, how to speak so that people don't just hear you, but they feel you in their heart. That's what got me here. I looked at all the speakers. They're just giving information. And I said, I'm going to share stories that people experience and take them to a place in themselves that they can't go by themselves. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm training speakers. That's how I'm honoring my commitment to Miles Monroe, who's one of the most famous students that I had, who said, Les Brown, there's no success without successors. And he's right. And so if you can hear my voice, and if there's something in you that you like to be a part of a community of like-minded people, be intentional about that, who have goals and dreams that will challenge you and bring the best out of you, and you bring the best out of them. And if you are open to being coached, everybody's not open. If you're coachable, oh, I can pull it out you. Yeah, no. And we meet on a weekly basis, and I show up. I've just added some extra time. Why? I'm living my life the way I want to live my life. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'll be speaking till I do. I tell my kids, look here, sneak in the bog and put a microphone in my head. If I don't grab, say, you got to be hungry. Say, Dad's gone. Dad gone now. He gone. We put a microphone in his hand, and he just say nothing. His lips didn't move. He did. Sometimes you got to laugh at yourself. Y'all know I'm a little off. So here's this. Try some new things. There's more millionaires and more wealth is being generated now than any other time in history. Is artificial intelligence? It's real. I am fascinated with it. I'm up 11, 12 o'clock at night looking at and learning new things. And I'm talking to people that can teach me some extra things. See, this is the time you want to be around people who know what time it is, who's learning and growing and won't have the mindset, oh, we are discarded or we're going to be left behind. Are you kidding me? Come on. No. This is the time that you want to do, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self. This is the time that you want to be involved in creating your own ecosystem, creating your own job, building your own table, building your own business, expanding and going into various industries because we can. That's where we are. You got this. Wherever you are right now, if you've been laid off, going through divorce, wherever you are right now, physically challenged, wherever you are right now, you've gone through foreclosure, wherever you are right now, you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, and you think life has left you behind. No, no, you got this. And you got to dig deep and go within yourself and say and affirm, call forth those things that be not as though they were. This is a time that you have to talk to yourself. I remember I had to do a presentation for Procter & Gamble, and I had to go in the bathroom and talk to myself because everybody had computers. And this beginning of my career, I had this visual cardboard aid that you could roll out. And everybody else had computers except me. I went in the bathroom. I said, Les Brown, this is no time for you to be intimidated because you don't have a computer or PowerPoint presentation. You've got a mama to take care of. You've got children to take care of. You were born to do this. This is your moment. This is your time. You've got an opportunity that Mrs. Weaver brought you here to present here at Procter & Gamble to get this contract. Don't worry about you don't have the electronics. And so when I came in the room, they asked me, said, Mr. Brown, where's your PowerPoint presentation? I said, I am the PowerPoint. They said, Let me tell you, I got the contract. The guy who was hosting it, he had his head down the whole time. He said, I can't believe it. I said, you can't believe what, sir? One of the things I teach speakers, how you treat people when you don't have the microphone is more important when you have it. He said, I was in the shopping mall with my mother, and she saw you. And she said, he's Les Brown, because she used to watch your talk show. And she said, he was married to Gladys Knight. And she said, can I get an autograph? And you said, yes, ma'am. And you kneeled down and you asked me, what's your name, young fella? And I told you my name. And you pulled me close and say, I see greatness in you. Oh, he's going to make you proud. I see greatness in your eyes. Wow. He said, man, I'll never forget that. You said that to me. Everybody else would talk to my mother and never acknowledge that I was present. And you bent down and looked me in the eyes. And when I saw you come in this room today, I couldn't believe it. You got this contract. Look at God. Let me tell you something. You can tell a lot about people, how they treat people who they consider unimportant. Most people just ignore kids. I speak to them. This is a time that you must feel chosen for something good. You were chosen for this time. We're here because of God's grace and mercy. So I have this magazine. I'm excited. I want you to spread the word. I want you to get it and also send it to other people. I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com. hungrytospeak.com. You might want to be a part of a community. I'm not selling you on that. We have a limited number of slots, so I'm not worried about that. What I do want to do is put out positive messages, and I need your help to do that. If you've ever heard my voice and it made a difference for you, I want you to go to hungrytospeak.com now, hungrytospeak.com, and get the free magazine that we're sharing with people that's designed to connect you with your greatness, to release, as Elizabeth Browning would say, the imprisoned splendor. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let me see if y'all got some. They left me here. Y'all got some comments. Where are my glasses? I thought I had my Walgreens glasses over here. Let me see. Can I see, did y'all get some value out of what I've just shared with you all today? They left me here by myself, so I can figure out how to cut it off. If don't, I'll continue. I got some more to say. I look here. I'm not limited. Oh, I want to share this with you. When you are present with yourself, what do you mean? I had my daughter out at the playground once named Samaya. She's going up the sliding board and she asked me a question. Daddy, where are you? I said, I'm right here with you. She said, oh, and she slid down the sliding board. And I knew when she asked me that question, she could see in my eyes, but my mind was someplace else. And I've learned not only to be present with my children and my friends, to be present with myself. And sometimes life can be so noisy, and you look at the news and you hear all the stuff that people are talking about. Remember that play? They had a song called Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News. Some of y'all remember that play. Don't bring me no bad news. That's exactly where I am. Don't bring me no bad news. I don't want to see no news. I want to see the good. I want to know who's doing what and what's working. I'm meeting all type of entrepreneurs. My goal and dream is use my platform to expose people who have goals and dreams and starting businesses and have products and services, and to help them to get the exposure that they need. God has blessed me to be a blessing. And you have to be intentional. This environment where we are, you have to create your own environment. Environment is more powerful than willpower. So part of my being present with myself. Thank you, Lord, for blessing me. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for ordering my steps. Thank you for great ideas. Thank you for using my voice to represent you. I'm on a mission for you. Thank you for guiding me. I want you to have an expectation that you're going to win. I want you to expect it. I had a friend went to a job interview in New York. He came back. I said, did you get the job? She said, no. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. She said, I didn't expect to get it. Why did you go? If you didn't expect to get the job, why would you waste their time and your time going for an interview that you didn't expect to get? You think they didn't pick that energy up? You think that didn't show up in your personality and how you answered the questions, and they're watching you with 4 and 5 people watching you to see if it's a good fit? If you don't have a spirit of expectation, there's that energy. Have you ever felt somebody's energy and they inspired you, they made you laugh, they made you feel good? But there's some people, the energy is flat. Don't bring nothing out of you. It's flat. Conversation about nothing. Who's the GOAT? Do you think when they trade LeBron, will they take Bronny too? About nothing. Aurelia said, stop living like you have 1,000 years to live. And you're meant for more. And you have to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to focus on you, to develop you, to carve out a place that you decide, this is mine. Here I stand, as Paul Robeson would say. Here I stand, for I can do no other. Okay. All right. I hope you got some value. I'm going to check and see how many of y'all went to hungrytospeak.com. Go there now. Get the magazine. We've designed this. My son, John Leslie, he's phenomenal. He knows his AI stuff. And we're going to be training people how to tell their story, how to leverage AI and how to automate their business. You see where I'm going? Come on now. Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend named Janet Maycott. She said, the curtain is still up. The curtain is still up. And I'm going to work until they turn the lights out and bring the curtain down. Yes. Okay. Y'all have a nice day. I've had me a good time. I don't know if you enjoy me, but I enjoy myself, honey. I enjoy talking to y'all today. Bye for now. Bye bye. Oh my goodness. Boy, you are a mess. I mean to tell you. Let me see, can I do this? Yes, I can. Oops. Oh my goodness. I think I got it. Okay. Oh, we gotta do it twice. Figure it out.